Alright, so just a quick note on infill on this wing. I know the desktop is kind of a mess, and I apologize for that, but we're working away on this, on the wing for this aircraft, and there's just a couple little issues. So one of the things I did was I doubled the leading edge. Here you see that, here's the leading edge kit part, and here's the extra piece that I laid on to the face of the leading edge, and that's just to give it more depth when I go to profile sand it. And that's just one thing I wanted to do. Another thing I wanted to show you was again, here's the progress we're at. So I'm just infilling now the leading edge of the underside of our wing. I'll do the I guess this would be the left side, the port side, and then we'll do the starboard underside next over here, and then I'll flip it and we'll do the trailing edge of the wing, and then that'll be the end of the infill. And then all I'll need to do is finish loading up the wingtips with sheet balsa so that I can then sand it to shape. But the thing, one of the critical things I wanted to talk about here, I'm going to try and do this while I hold the camera, is that at the leading edge, see if I can do this, there's a taper here that it actually starts about here, where the ribs begin to ascend up towards the top of the wing. And as they do that, they leave the leading edge more and more exposed coming out along this line. I'm trying to keep this on. You see there's a gap here and a gap here. So what I'm trying to do, and what I want to do, and what needs to happen, all of those, is that as we infill this, we follow the rib and don't infill out here, but actually follow the rib and leave this exposed. That's all going to be sanded off, and that gives the leading edge taper and dihedral along the bottom edge of the wing. It enhances the look of that taper along the underside of the wing. So that's why we want to infill under here and follow the rib line even out to the edge, even though this is a little thicker and comes closer to the bottom of our leading edge than this. We're going to follow to this line and then use the sanding effect to reach into that infill piece out here. I hope that makes sense. So we'll do the same thing on this side. As you can see, again, on this side we have the same situation. We begin, let's see if I can do this, show you what I mean. Out here the rib comes right up to the base of our leading edge, but as we get out to the wing tip, we see that there's more of a gap. This is an 1/8 inch here, solid 1/8 inch there, almost an 1/8 inch at the tip. So the same holds true on both sides of the wing, obviously, for symmetry. But anyway, I wanted to try and show that, so that as if you're going to be building this airplane, you'll notice that this is a tapering, a sloping effect that goes into and behind the leading edge of the wing, so such that when you sand this wing gets thinner at the wingtip than it is at the base of the wing, and then that also lends itself to that look of added dihedral to the bottom, whereas the top looks to be straight and flat across. Let's see if I can hold this up. So across the top of our wing it looks flat and straight, but at the bottom you might be able to see, and again there's a fisheye effect with this lens, which I don't know if that's going to hinder what I'm trying to show you here, but you can see that as we sand up into the lower portion of that leading edge along that angled line, it's going to increase the look of taper to the underside of the wing. It'll increase the look of dihedral to the underside of the wing, if that's helpful. All right, so I'm going to keep working on this. I'll switch the camera off. When we come back, I should have it fully infilled and profile sanded. In other words, the leading edges should be sanded, wingtips should be profiled and shaped, and all of that ready for the first application of the spackle, the filler that I use. And that process, again, is probably going to be 4 or 5, maybe 6 applications of filler to get this wing as smooth as it can be and void of any wood grain appearance. There should be no visible wood grain whatsoever, no gaps or voids, no ribs, no stringers apparent. It should be just smooth and clean as glass. All right, later.